Okay, trying to figure this out. Okay, hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeff with Post-Tender Lux Bible Rebinding. I'm about to do a little bit of page dye, and so I figured I'd do a video on it. I've promised a couple people to do one, and so I'm going to be using Fern Green archival ink, and I got a refiller. So I'm going to refill this, and I'm going to be on that one. I will be doing a ESV Creeds and Confessions. This is the makeup application sponge that I use. This one is found in the Dollar General store, and I usually use these right here. I get from Walgreens. Cotton, kind of like the stuff that you would use for like for me growing up for acne, right? You would buy the I think it's called Sea Breeze, and you would put the Sea Breeze on either a cotton ball or something like this and rub it on your face. All right, so I'm gonna set this down and get started. All right. So first thing is we'll open the ink pad up, and we'll just put a little bit in there. Give it just a few seconds to kind of soak in. It usually doesn't take too long. It just depends on how full it already is. If there is like a puddle at the top of the surface, if you can see a puddle, it wouldn't be wise to move forward. So you need to give it time to dry. Let's get some of this glue off my fingertips real quick. And all right, that should be fine. So it's an interesting process. What you want to do first is you want to make sure that the pages are not stuck together. So sometimes when you buy these brand new, they can be stuck together, and really depending. So if you're buying an ICR, an LSB ICR, and it has the gold gilding, it's going to be stuck. So there's no way to apply it without unsticking it. But sometimes when you get these ESV Creeds and Confessions, they can be a little stuck. And if you just kind of do this number right here, you can unstick it enough to perform the task. I'm going to go ahead and get these out and have 2 or 3 of them ready. Usually it takes about 2 to do a Bible this size. Sometimes, depending on the size of the Bible, could be up to 3. And then if you don't have, so I'm running low of these. Normally I'll take 2 of them and put them together. So whenever I'm running low, I'll get a paper towel. So I'll get a paper towel and I'll fold it, and then I'll just add this over the paper towel. And what this is for is after I apply the ink to the gilding, I don't want to let the Bible relax without taking this dry piece over it and removing excess ink. And the way that you do it is, first you have to fan out the Bible. Once you get it fanned out, you want to hang the edge. I usually do about an 1/8 inch. I hang about an 1/8 inch over. Now, if your Bible is in a cover, what you'll have to do is you'll just take a piece of paper. And you'll put the paper in between the last page of the Bible and the cover. But since I don't have a cover, I don't have to worry about that. What I do after I fan out the Bible is I put a ruler on top, and I back it off about an 1/8 of an inch. So I'll pick this up so you can see. So as you can tell, it's hanging over about an 1/8, and I got it backed off a little over an 1/8. But that's what I'm looking at. I'll put that back down. All right, so the ink pad has had time to dry. I'll take my makeup application sponge and just pat it on there. As you can see, it's just a little green. And I normally get the corners first. So just come down. And this particular green, when you're first starting to put it on there, it really looks like grass. Green grass. Now what you want to do from here is when you apply it, you don't want to apply it up and down. You don't want to go this way. You want to go with the grain of the paper. So the paper grain is going this way. So when I apply it, I want to go with the paper. And some people will dab it on there and then rub it in, and that's fine. You just don't want to go up and down, in my opinion. So I usually start right here on the bottom. It's really simple. It can be time consuming depending on the tools that you're using. So before I started using this makeup application sponge, it took me forever to do page dye. But this sponge right here has really worked well. And I've used other sponges. I've gotten sponges from Walgreens. Doesn't work as good. Now, after a few minutes, the sponge will start to break down and tear. And you can still use it once it starts doing that, but it definitely makes a mess. But the problem is with the other sponges that I would find from other stores, they would immediately start breaking down. Like the first 2 or 3 wipes, it would start breaking down, and it would just be a mess. And so these don't break down as fast, and they seem to apply really well. And so you just want to go over it. You don't want to go too heavy, but try as much as you can to make like an even application across the board. And take that other one, and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wipe some of the excess ink off. Then I'll let it relax. And just flip it over and do the same thing. And sometimes I'll go ahead and try to get the hangover as I pick it up, fan it out, and just let it lay back down. And it's just the same process. Get my corners first. So when I very first got into this, I was told several different ways to do this, tools to use for this. And like I was saying earlier, it was very, very complicated. I was never getting a even spread. I don't want to say people were leading me in the wrong direction. Maybe they didn't know any better. And so I wanted to wait until before I gave advice on it, that I found a really easy process and that the tools for which to perform it I was happy and satisfied with. So the look that you want, as you can see, gold, but when you open it, green. Gold, green. Now, I won't video the whole thing, but I think this next process, part of it, so the side of the Bible, this is the most confusing part, because you can't fan it out the same way that you do the front part of the Bible. And so what you have to do here is what I do is, so if you really can't see, let me pick it up, so just to give you an idea. So what I do is I pull on this corner and I spread it out. But as I'm pulling on this corner, my other hand is also pulling on this part. So when I lay this down to do it, you're probably not going to be able to see, you're going to be able to see the hand that I have here moving, but you won't be able to see as well me pulling on this end. And so I want to try to fan it out as much as I can, but I have to do so diagonally, because there's no way to really fan toward the spine of the Bible. So I'm going to pull here and here. And again, I'm going to have that 1/8 inch hangover. And sometimes another way to do it is when you pick it up, you can go ahead and fan it out. But I don't do that way. I just do it this way. I just kind of force it like that. Again, get my ruler. And so I was talking earlier about patting it on there, and that's what I normally do when it comes to the spine part. I kind of just get it as thick as I can before I start rubbing it in. As you can see, it's starting to break down. There's little flakes coming off of it. And that's fine as long as it ain't a lot. Another reason why I hardly make any videos on it is I really have a hard time explaining what it is I'm doing while I'm doing it. For some reason, my mind doesn't work that way. Like, I can perform the job or I can talk about it, but performing the job and talking about it at the same time has always been difficult for me. When I make a video, I feel like I gotta explain what I'm doing, so I'm only doing this video for a friend. Hopefully he's able to comprehend what it is that I'm saying. So, gold, green. Let me pick it up. Okay. So gold, green, gold, green. I still have one more side to do. Yeah, so this is a good way where you can see how it really works. So there's your gold, but there's no green.